So we have the side rail and the front and the back legs cut to size and have the angles on them. We have notched out the side rail at an angle here for the back leg to be at that 10 degrees. And this is just a 90 degree. So next what we want to do is we have 11.5 inches from where it will sit on the ground up to where this rail goes. So I have set my combination square right at 11.5 inches. Set that right on the bottom and we'll mark there. And then on this side, the front leg, mark there as well. And then I have already marked across there. So as these fit together and as you kind of position these on here, oops, I have this upside down. No, I have it right like this. This angle goes on the or the inside of the chair, so it fits into here. So what you might have to do is as you put it in here and fit it, this one looks pretty good, but it had a little bit of a wobble to it. So what I did was you can use just a regular block plane like this and take some off of here to make this level if your cut wasn't perfect. Or if you have one of those nice expensive shoulder planes, which I don't have, I have this really nice antique, which works really well. You can get right into, let me turn this here, you can get right into this corner with the blade. And that one's already pretty good. So it'll let you get right in there and make that nice and flat. Alright, so now all that is left is to take this and we'll flip it over, align it right on the marks here, and right on the marks here. I'm also going to align it to the front of my workbench just to simulate that that is the ground, and put it right on here, right on my line there. And then we'll just kind of test fit it and see how everything feels. That actually feels pretty good. The boards aren't always going to be perfect. It's not like you're working with a really, really nice hardwood, like an oak or a maple or something. But these fit together well if you just give them a little bit of time and kind of nuance all of the connections and stuff. So I won't put any glue in here. And I'll wait, I think, until I fit the other side to start drilling the holes here for the screws. And I'm going to wait until the very, very end to put the glue on and all the screws. I'll basically assemble the whole chair, kind of dry fit it with the screws, and then fine tune all of the connections. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to make sure the other side fits like this, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so almost done tuning all these up, and then these will fit together nice and snug. A nice clean line in there. Almost there. We'll take a little bit off the end. So the next thing that I want to do is on all of my legs, I want to round the corners over on the bottom just so they don't chip and knock this out. So I'm going to just use a 1.5 inch radius here. I'll mark each side of these. I'll do this to all 4 legs on the bottom. So we'll take this off. First I'll cut it on the bandsaw, and then we'll round them over on the disc sander. Every now and then you'll have a weird knot or something in your piece of wood, and I have a big breakout piece right here. So I'm going to put, kind of join a piece on there. First I'll take this down with a plane. Start with a bigger one and then a couple of passes. And then out of another piece of 2x4 I just cut the end off at an angle, and I will just glue this on here and leave this Dutchman here patch kind of proud on this side and this side, only by about a 1/16 of an inch. Let it dry overnight with just a simple little clamp on it right here. Lots of nice glue in there. Let it dry, and then we'll come back and just plane it flat on these sides and cut the end off, and that'll be good as new. So there's glue on here. We'll press this on, rub it in just a little bit. And then I'll just take a piece of stretchy kind of electrical tape, pull it to stretch it a little bit. This works pretty well for a clamp, especially in such an odd situation here where you have to try to align it in different angles. And that should hold. We'll let it dry overnight, and then we'll finish that up. Inevitably, you're going to have some breakout and tear out. Some of the knots are going to break out on this construction grade 2x4. I still think it's good wood, and you can't beat the price. So what I will do is I will use just a wood filler like this. This is a nice Minwax product that was at my home store. Interior and exterior use. So this is a really nice stuff. I will simply just squirt some on here and put it wherever you think you'll need it. Try not to use too much. And then I have this putty knife. It's kind of an old school putty knife. It has a nice spring to it. Probably found it at a garage sale somewhere, but it's the nicest one I have. It just doesn't look like it. Any one will work, but this just seems to work a little bit better because it allows me to bend down, and instead of dragging it like this, which sometimes pulls it out of the crack, I will allow it to have kind of the final contact be on the spring flat edge here, about 1/4 inch in. And just put a nice thin coat on. You don't want too much to have to sand off, but just like that will be good. Push it in there real well. And that's really all I do. Some like this, I don't even spend time filling those. It would fill it just fine. But the paint that I use, which is an exterior paint, like a fence grade stain, will cover these. So this, I let it dry for 24 hours, and I usually don't fill cracks larger than probably 1/4 of an inch. I think they say for anything over 1/2 an inch on the back of here. Oh no, here they actually say this product should not be used on holes larger than 3/4 of an inch. So this stuff will fill a pretty good size hole. This is the arm that is finished, and as you can see here, I used the this wood filler on the arm where this knot had kind of broken out, and then I just sand it, and it looks really nice. Once you put a coat of paint on there, you won't even notice it. So I'll do that to some parts of the leg. There are a few sometimes hairline cracks in here, and all I'll do for those is run just a little bead of glue along here, and then just push it in with your finger to plug that. And don't worry about if you leave a little excess on there. That'll be good. This will dry. I'll hit it with just a little bit of sandpaper, that 60 grit. Same with this. And it'll fill that crack, plug it up, but also make the wood a little more secure there too. Alright, so you'll have to do that a little bit if you go with a construction grade lumber like I like to do. But be patient, trust me, wait till you see the final product, and you plug a few of these holes and they look really, really good when you're done. You can kind of see it right here in this piece. This piece is almost flawless for a piece of outdoor furniture. I do notice if you take the time to round over all the edges a little bit extra, round all these, dress it up a little bit, and make it look good, you can hide a lot of these perfections by all of your nice design work and care out here. And once it's painted, you'll never notice it. Alright, so this is dried here, and take our tape off. And then I'm going to cut this off first. We don't have as much planing to do. And then we should be able to just take this down. That looks good. Should be good, and then I think we'll just, actually no, we want this to sit flush on our other leg, so we won't round that over, and that'll be it. So you can see the kind of a pyramid shaped Dutchman here filled in where there was a big piece there, and that'll hold up and be as strong as the original wood. So here are all of the pieces, and all of them really have all of them are ready to go for assembly. So all the pieces have been, you can see not too many had to be done that way, but some of them have been filled with a wood filler. All of them have their edges rounded over. All of these have been rounded over for the back pieces. The armrests, those have all been rounded over and cut out. So now what we'll do is I'm going to go through and start to fit everything together. I'll start with the side pieces, and then we'll determine where we need to drill our holes, because I'm going to put regular construction screws in here, but what I'll do is drill a 3/8 inch Forstner bit hole down about 3/8 of an inch, so that once I put the screws in and glue everything together, I can put a nice clean wood plug or a screw plug in there and sand it flush, so when I paint it you don't really see any of the construction material. I really like the idea of those screws being hidden, and it has a nice painted surface. Alright, so we'll start setting up the sides and putting those together. So to start the assembly, I am going to lay this out. So I have this as the ground facing that way, and this is the cross brace here, the rail, and then this would be the front leg, and this would be the angled back leg. So I've marked out, I labeled these B and A before I did all the finishing and sanding on them and everything else. So what I want to do is I want to position where my holes will go to screw these in. So on the front here, this is where the front rail will go, across the front of it. So I want to stay in a little bit because I'm going to put screws through the front this way. And then in the back support will go right back here. And I'll come up through this one and this one into this one. So I want to make sure I stay inside of here as well. So I'm just going to put a couple of holes here, maybe come in about an inch, line myself up there, and then one here and one about right there. So we'll take these over to the drill press, and we'll drill those 3/8 inch Forstner bit holes. Okay, so we have our 3/4 or 3/8 inch Forstner bit in here. We'll set this up, and we'll drill down just probably the thickness of the main head of the bit here, which is about 3/8 of an inch. That will give us enough for a plug, but still allow us to have enough wood to grab onto. Okay, we'll go back to our workbench and put a couple of screws in there. Alright, so I've lined these up. I have my A and my A, and I have set, I'm going to use a 2-inch number 8 wood screw here with a T25 Torx head. They call them lobe drives now, I guess. So I'm going to set this up so it's about the length of the screw, and with this pushed together nice and tight, drill both of those out. My battery just died on my other drill, so I have just to swap bits here. Put our clutch, this is pretty soft wood, put our clutch down maybe about 9. Six. That feels good. There. Check that for square. Perfect. So I did check it before I set this up too, by the way, but check them each as you go along. This one will be square, the other one will have an angle on it. So I'm not going to put the screw plugs in here yet because I want to put the whole chair together first and make sure that everything works out before I put any glue in the joints and before I put the screw plugs in. So I'll kind of go through and build both sides now the same way, and I'll show you once those are done, and then we'll start putting the cross braces in. So the chair has been set up, assembled here. It's just with clamps right now, but I have both sides made, and then I put the front rail and the back rail in just to get those positioned. So you want to make sure you put everything together. Make sure that it's square. That's right on. I check the square this way as well, and then check it down here as well. My floor is pretty level, and make sure that everything fits and looks level and square. And I guess that would be plumb. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to drill in here and with a Forstner bit, and then put our screws in here. We'll put good 3.5-inch screws in here. So the only finesse thing I really had to do, because the boards aren't perfect, what I had to do was to change the angle just slightly, like a 1/16 of an inch. I changed the angle on the front here. One of these 2x4s was just a little bit bowed, and that's going to happen. So just adjust it a little bit and make sure everything is square and plumb, and then we'll be ready to assemble this whole carcass. So that's what we'll do next, is we'll put these braces in. Alright, with this all set up here, I put it up on the workbench just to make it easier, and you want to make sure that there's no wobble in it, and that means that everything's nice and level. So what I've done is, looking at where my screws will go in here, I found the height up the back leg and just marked a line across here, so I'll put 2 in here. And then I used my combination square here and found the center of that 2x4, and then we'll just transfer that here and here, so we can see where to drill our holes in. And then we'll use the same 3/8 inch Forstner bit, and we'll drill about 3/8 inch in. And then we're going to switch. We're going to put a 3.5 inch, 3 3/4 inch wood screw in here. And so this will go inside of here, and it will go into the end grain here, probably about 2 or so, 2¼ inches. Okay, so we want to drill a 1/8 inch hole through here and all the way into here. So I have set up my other drill here with a long 1/8 inch drill bit, and put a piece of blue tape on there to tell me where to stop, and then we'll just make sure we drill in nice and straight. Alright, we'll set our clutch here pretty high. We'll try 12 here. Oh, lost that battery. Just a second here. And one more screw here. Hold on tight, there's a lot of torque in driving in that screw. Alright, so that should secure that. So we will go around to all 4 legs and put these 2 screws in to secure the first braces in the front and the back, or the rails there.